Hoodwinked. Now, could we just have anyone in the audience explain what hoodwinked is as it relates to who we are as individuals? Hoodwinked. Conned, tricked, misled, fooled, deceived, blinded, lied to, manipulated. Man, I'm getting depressed. Talk about hoodwinked in my life. I had a sister who's passed away now. Her name is Yvette. My father died very, very tragically. At 19 years of age, I woke up one day. It's a long story. And I found my father dead on the floor of our retail shop, which I'll tell you about later on, after he used a shotgun on himself. I was 19. There are 7 children in our family. My mum and dad had 7 kids. I was the oldest male, and it was the culture of the Lebanese, without question, to take over the family business. And so I did that. I left agricultural college. I was studying for a degree. I loved agriculture and decided that there was nothing else I could do but to support my mum and to take over where my father left off. About 2 months into me taking over the business, which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, my first business at 19 as an entrepreneur, menswear, ladies' wear, and firearms combined. So if I get lost in this presentation, it's from the hoodwinking way back then when I was 19. So I heard a report coming in from some friends of mine that told me what my sister Yvette was doing in this small country town of Cowra. Or they at least said that this is what she was doing. It was against the moral standards of the Anthony family. I knew my father would not allow this to happen, so I took my sister for a drive. Ladies and gentlemen, please get this if that's all you get from this conference. Get this one point, especially gentlemen. Women are whippier. Whippier meaning sharper than men. They think quicker. They're multidimensional in their thinking. They're unable, generally, I use the word generally because I'm a wuss and I can escape fast, but generally women don't compartmentalize things. It affects the whole. They've got unbelievable memories. They're capable of remembering everything you said and did, no matter how long ago it happened. Their mind is a mind of dimensional detail. They not only remember what the weather was like when it happened, they remember what you were wearing when it happened, and they will tell you the exact time that it happened, and they have the ability to drop it right in front of you when you need the lesson the most. But I grew up believing that women were the weaker sex. My father taught me that. So what did I do? I translated in through the filters of my mind, weaker, inferior. So I saw women as inferior. So now I decide I've got to talk to my sister Yvette for some of the things I'd heard. I take her for a drive. So it's important to create the right environment, ladies and gentlemen, before you speak. So I took her for a drive. We drove 10 miles out of town. I remember this very clearly. And I remember addressing the topic. It was very sensitive. And she blew up. And I'm thinking, she has to do what I say. Number one, I've taken over my father's position. Number two, she's inferior. She has to do what I tell her to do. So I screeched on the brakes because I couldn't get any sense into this inferior creature. So I screeched on the brakes, and I remember taking a very male dominating stance. And I said, Yvette, you get out and you walk. I mean, we're 10 miles from home. You walk. It was very powerful. Very proud of myself. At that moment. I promise you, only a woman could think this way. I'll never forget Sister Yvette for this. I never even saw her fist coming. I did not see her fist coming. This is a true story. Oh man, talk about deflating my ego. And I'm supposed to be a master of speed and agility on this thing. I've been using it since I was 12. I never saw her fist coming. See, a gentleman would be still scratching his head thinking, now what am I going to do about this situation? But she'd already worked it out. It's never on one level with the woman. She's drilling down before you got time to even think of the hole that's going through the surface. So as she went bang and my ego and my jaw hurt, in the same movement, guys, you can't do this. Please don't try and ever think you can. Her fist went from closed to open. It was a nanosecond. I never even saw this. She pulled the keys out of the ignition, folded her arms, and says, "You walk." As I was walking home, I was thinking, I am hoodwinked.